Hey everybody, and welcome to Partner News Live. As usual, we have got lots to tell you. But first, I want to say hello to my favorite co-presenter, Shellie Stapp. Shellie, how are you?
Hello, my favorite co-presenter also. How are you doing today, Mr.
I'm doing
Eagle?
fabulously. Thank you, Shellie, so much for asking. But we do have a packed show today. Okay, I want to tell everybody that Brandon Hagman, I have a recording of him. I think we'll go with that first today. He's going to be talking about My Biz plans and the impact they have on promotions, for new services going forward, as well as the changes for our actual business customers and the possible impact that MyBiz will have on your earned commissions. So I think we're going to lead with that today. Then our two major guests today, we have one from Samsung, our old friend Michael Lane, and he has his own guest, Adam Salet from RAM Mounts, or RAM as he calls it. He's going to be talking about electronic logging devices, ELDs, and their mounts inside the cabs and vehicles and such like. And so I'm looking forward to that conversation in just a few moments. But first we have to talk about our sponsors, Shellie. David and Kim Starr are the owners of Team Texas. They're our sponsors today. And you can get in touch with them either by going to the appropriate My Connectus page, which is up in the top left of your screen just now, or you can go direct to their own website, which is, wait for it, teamtexas.com. All right, Shellie, let's fire ahead and bring on the recording with Brandon Hagman. And he's talking about how all of you out there can be utilizing My Biz.
Hey, thanks, Neil. Welcome, everybody, to a video from me, Brandon, from the operations side of the house. Wanted to go through a pretty big topic, which is the transition at Verizon to these My Biz plans and kind of what it means as a salesperson, what it means for the customer, also what it means for our bottom line of what we're pulling in commission-wise. We'll touch on that a little bit. So looking at this overview really quick, as we can see, our old structure of plans are really like Start, Plus, and Pro. If we kind of keep that same mindset here, it's all revolved around how many dollars the customer is spending in add-ons. So if we think of this as the start level, a $5 add-on to the $29 plan at the bare bones level would get us the first level of discount on the actual device itself. For $15 of add-ons, you get in that middle, like the plus level that we currently see of promotion, and then $20 or more gets you to the pro level of what we're currently looking at. And just keep in mind as you're presenting this to the customer, if they start at a certain level and they drop down, so if we start them at like $25 in add-ons, they go in and they start messing around and like, I don't need any of the stuff, they start checking stuff off. They signed up for a promotion to keep a certain level of add-on dollars on that number. So as they start removing those things, the promotional discount is also going to be dropping off of there. So just keep in mind that when you're presenting this to the customer, they are signing up to keep these add-ons on there permanently, as they're going to keep the device. So just make sure that we present that correctly. The customer knows if they are messing around with anything on the account, removing add-ons, that it is going to affect the bottom line promotional pricing for the end user. If we go forward here, as you can see, again, we're kind of still in the Start Plus Pro mindset. So as far as pricing, there's not a huge difference. The big thing here is they've blown the plan apart where you have to like put it together a la carte style. So that's kind of what we're looking at. So start pricing is right at like having $5. The Plus is right at 15 and the Pro is at 20. So as far as like monthly cost, there shouldn't be a huge change. It's just, again, a presentation and patching the plan together as we go. So what it costs, as you can see here, the structure of having 5 or more lines is still pretty much in effect. So the lowest possible pricing they could have is $29. That's with auto pay as well. If we come here, this is both with $15 add-ons all combined and $20 in add-ons combined. So, taking the My Biz plan with the auto pay or auto billing, then we have a 15% off discount for 3 years. This is just a promotional pricing to go to a My Biz plan. We have a couple of the add-ons, so $15 in add-ons, and then the phone, the discount of the phone for having the add-ons, and then having at the end of the day, we're looking at $49.65 with everything. So this is going to be kind of like what we're already doing with device payment, figuring out what their end of month cost is. We're just going to have to kind of piece it together one extra step with taking the plan, taking the add-ons, putting them together, factoring in all the discounts they get. So a little extra steps here, but just something that we'll have to do. As you can see here with the extra discount, with a $15 add-on and $20 add-on, the total end of month cost ends up being exactly the same. And that comes from them getting the extra discount on the actual device itself. So just keep that in mind. The more dollars they spend on add-ons, the bigger discount they're going to get on the devices. They don't have to spend 20 plus dollars to get a promo, but to get the biggest value, they certainly do. So keep that in mind. I've selected a couple here to highlight. I've got the premium network experience as a $10 add-on. They get the 5G ultra wideband. They get from the 5 gigabyte hotspot that the plan provides. It bumps it up to 100, and they also get the high def streaming. So it's a $10 add-on. Pretty cool. Especially just for the hotspot feature alone, to basically make that almost unlimited. Like you're using quite a bit of hotspot there. For a $10 increase. And then the $5 per month Secure Plus, you get the security features that the regular plan comes with, plus the endpoint management and the admin portal for managing devices and stuff like that a lot of our customers use. So those two would get you to the middle tier without really doing anything else. And then the discount off of the device would basically offset that. So, basically we're just changing the way we present things. We're having to adjust, how we present stuff to the customer, making sure that we highlight the value to them with not only the phone, but also presenting the plan. Like to get the features that you currently are getting from the Plus plan, you need to have a couple different add-ons, and you can also choose what add-ons you want, which is great. Commission wise, I kind of touched on that at the beginning. Just know that if we don't do anything, bare bones plan, don't add any of the add-ons, we're taking about a 16% hit on the commission that we receive from Verizon, which again trickles down to everybody on the team. So, make sure that as we're presenting this stuff, we take it seriously. Those add-ons are going to be huge going forward as far as presenting it to the customer, making sure that they get the biggest value for their money. And also, that we're keeping the structure in mind of that Start Plus Pro, and for them to get the best discount on the devices going forward, we have to keep those add-ons in mind. So for this whole thing to kind of compile everything together, there is a training that Verizon has supplied us that is really beneficial. I would recommend everybody take this. It's course VZ154699 in your training. You may not actually have it in your library to take the training. You can enroll in it and just click on it and go in and look at how it's structured. It has some different scenarios that are in there where you can choose the different add-ons that fit the customer and stuff like that. But it also has a couple screens in there that are great for us to see as far as how the plan breaks down to the promotion and that sort of thing. So a great idea for you to go in and take this training. That's pretty much all we were going to cover today. If you guys have any questions about this, definitely reach out to either your channel manager or someone who has your ticket. From the operations side of things, we are going to be working on a new template that we're going to be sending out to make everything a little bit easier for you to select these things. So as we go, and the customer is going to have to change from maybe one of their old plans to a new one, or we're creating a brand new business profile, to be able to select those options a little bit easier is something that we're going to be working on our side. So keep an eye out for that new template to come out your way, just to make things in the transition a little bit easier for everybody. So thank you guys so much for your time. I appreciate it. Neil, back to you, sir.
So exciting times for more commissions. So what's next, Neil?
As promised, we have today with us Adam Sahli from Ram Mount. Hey, Adam, how are you?
Doing good, Neil. How about yourself?
Doing just fine, thank you. Appreciate you being on today. And an old friend, Michael Lane from Samsung. Michael, how are you?
Hey, doing really well this morning. How about yourself?
I'm doing just great, thank you. As I say, so happy to have you both here today. So happy that you brought Adam along with you today to join us. But listen, Michael, it's been a minute or two since we last spoke. We believe it or not, we have some new agents too. So would you just remind us all, please, just what is it that makes a Samsung the leader when it comes to innovation and industry first for so many things?
Thank you much for that introduction. Good to see you again. Glad to hear you have some new agents and looking forward to working with them like we have in the past. What I think makes Samsung a special company is that, we're known for our innovation and industry firsts. Really Samsung created the whole phablet idea of phones, which have now become sort of across all manufacturers. We innovated with the S Pen and the ability for people to use their device in multiple different ways. We really created and have driven, we're on our seventh year now of doing foldable devices. And for Verizon specifically, we were actually the manufacturer that delivered the first 5G smartphone to work on the Verizon network. And it's really this innovation from Samsung that's allowed us to have what I feel is the broadest portfolio in the industry, supporting all use cases for businesses at any price point that's applicable for them. And 2025 is no different. We launched the S25 family of devices earlier this year, refreshed our rugged portfolio with the Xcover 7 Pro, which is really a rugged flagship device and a great device, and the upcoming Flip and Fold 7 and Watch 8 that are coming later this month. But really, the reason I wanted to be here today and wanted Adam to come along with me on this journey is to talk about our tablets, and more specifically, the Tab A9. Traditionally, 8-inch tablets were the preference in transportation, distribution, field services, healthcare, and even for retail customers due to their overall weight, size, portability, or more important, pocketability for those who are out and about. And at Samsung, we listened to the marketplace, we listened to our customers, and so we brought back an 8-inch tablet earlier this year with the Tab A9. And what's really cool about this device, it's only available at Verizon. So there's a great advantage for you and your agents today in the marketplace with this device. But when we think about tablets, out of the box, a tablet is just a tablet. It's a piece of hardware. So what we really need to look at is how do we transform a tablet using industry software and hardware partners to solve customer business needs and drive a solution that's specific to their industry. And that's why I'm happy to bring Adam on today and turn the time over to him to really talk about what RAM does in the marketplace and allow him to showcase his solutions.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks you, Michael. A little bit about RAM. So we are known for rugged mounting solutions for in-vehicle or outside of vehicle. And what I mean by outside is every vertical from transportation, field service, material handling, retail, healthcare, you name it, you want to mount something somewhere, we have a solution for it. We are based here in Seattle, Washington. We're proud to say we're a U.S. manufacturer. Everything is basically built, manufactured, and assembled on site right here in Seattle, in the same neighborhood that our CEO, Jeff Carnevale, started the company in. But like Michael stated, we're really here to talk about Tab A9. We are very well known in the ELD space. There has been a tremendous need over the years for a refresh of an 8-inch tablet. And like Michael stated, it is on Verizon. And so what I wanted to kind of showcase is what we're doing to support the Tab A9 for ELD. So this is our GDS IntelliSkin and Unicon dock. And what Unicon stands for is Universal Connection, okay? So if you're not familiar with our RAM products, what we do is we have our IntelliSkin. That's the first step of our bundle or our ecosystem. What it does is it integrates D-shaped pogo pads on the bottom. It eliminates the Type-C port on the device, so it protects it from damage from the employee plugging it in and plugging it out, and really protects the device to last its lifespan, okay? Now, with this dock, what it also has is it has D-shaped pogo pads on the bottom, and it would basically have a connection and lock into place, and it would provide power to that tablet. We offer single power only. We also offer dual peripheral, as you can see on the Xcover 7 Pro dock that I have here. So if your customer wants to use a a mic, or they need to use a scanner or any peripheral, we can adjust this to USB-A, Type-C, RJ45. We have over 6,000 components. So when I said earlier, we can mount anything, anywhere, I truly, truly mean it. I want to go back to the Unicon dock, though. What we've found in the years is a lot of transportation or field service customers would come back saying, hey, Adam, we love RAM. We will never go anywhere else. But every 3-4 years, devices go end of life, and we got to refresh them. Then we have to rinse and repeat, pull out all the docks, throw them in the garbage, recycle them, and then spend a lot of money putting new docks in the vehicles. One, that takes the vehicles down, and which costs them money, and they have to pay techs to really, truly get it installed. So again, it's just a big overhead cost for them. The cool thing about this Unicon solution, when I said universal, I also meant to say future-proof. So back in the day, what would happen is a customer would upgrade their dock or their tablet, and they would have to buy a new dock. Now, that's not the case. This dock will stay in place when this Tab A9 goes end of life and they have to refresh it. All the customer would have to simply do is buy a new IntelliSkin for the device that they upgrade to, and this dock, it locks it right back into place, okay? So no more having to pull the docks out and replace them. It's one dock that's future-proof and will never have to be replaced, okay? The other thing I wanted to showcase is our Xcover 7 Pro dock. Same concept. It uses our IntelliSkin case and integrates D-shaped pogo pads on the bottom for charging. We do offer the IntelliSkin for the Xcover 7 Pro with an external Type-C port as well. So customers can purchase it with a Type-C port if they want it external plug-in charging, or they can purchase it without a Type-C external port. But same concept. It's got D-shaped pogo pads on the bottom of the dock, future-proof, and then we also have ergonomic accessories. So this is our GDS IntelliSkin hand strap, okay? We offer this in magnetic, so if a consumer or a user needs to be hands-free, they can put it up against any metal object and it will hold the device and, again, make them hands-free. But truly, we make a mount for any solution, any use case, and for any vertical. Happy to be here. We've been a tremendous partner of Samsung since 2010 when they released their first tablet. We continue to innovate with them. We partner with them on a weekly basis to make sure that we're doing what's right for their customer just like they do. So again, Neil, appreciate you having us on here. I'm here to support, connect us. I'm here to really drive the business together. And yeah, I'll pass it back over to you, Neil.
Sounds great, Adam. Thank you. So these electronic logging devices, we're very interested in them. I wonder, do you have any examples of them being used by our Amazon delivery service providers or associated with Verizon Connect or Radius, for example, we're all familiar with?
Yep. So I've been in contact with Verizon Connect. Obviously, the Tab A9 is a huge driver for again, ELD. They know RAM. It's funny, if you go to the Verizon Connect website, the picture of the dock that's on their homepage is a GDS dock. Okay? And then when it comes to customers, Amazon uses our solutions. Penske Trucking uses our solutions. FedEx, UPS. We are not small when it comes to the transportation and field service customer base. We work with some of the biggest transportation companies in the world. But we do have some use cases. We do have visuals. Another thing about me too, we also have a tremendous amount of content. So if any of the Connect Us representatives wanted to share some visuals or in-use videos, our marketing team does an amazing job to work with our customers to be on site and really showcase how our solutions are being used.
Yeah, fantastic. I'm going to make sure, Adam, that your contact details are below this in our password protected site, myconnectus.com, and folks can get in touch with you. And listen, I wonder, just in due course, if you're able to share these use cases with us, we'd be very happy to include them on the protected website as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Any information, contact that you all need to really drive business together, just reach out to me and I will make it happen.
Fantastic. Anna, before we go back to Michael, could you just walk me through how typically the end customer, the end business customer would mount this in a vehicle, for example?
Yeah, so we have a tremendous amount of mounting points where you can do either drill down directly to the dashboard. We have what's called our RAM Tough Claw that essentially is a clamp that could go on a round or square post clamp in vehicle. Mm-hmm. We also offer no drill solution. So we actually have vehicle bases that would attach to the seat rail or a center console. And so we have a tremendous amount of different configurations that we can really customize the solution for the customer. We know at RAM, every use case is different, every customer requirement is different, and we truly have enough components to really, again, build out that custom solution for the customer.
Fantastic. Would the customers generally mount these themselves, or would you refer them to a third party that
Yep.
might come to their place of business and mount them for them?
Yeah, so we directly, we do not do installation at RAM, but we work with tremendous installation partners across the nation that would basically visit on site. We would work side by side with them on delivery dates of the product to the customer. We would tie them into the customer so they could set up installation dates and obviously obtain pricing and quoting for those installations. So again, we work with a handful of installation partners that can take care of the installation for the customer.
Fantastic. Adam, thank you so much. Hey, Michael, do you know, it's really refreshing to see these kind of mounts where they don't have to be replaced every time we change our phone, tablet, or phablet.
No, I mean, RAM, I've been leveraging and working with RAM for probably since their inception. And I actually have 2 RAM mounts in my camper that my wife and I use when we're traveling down the freeway to keep things secure, still
Yes.
accessible, and fully charged. So even from a personal point of view, I use RAM in my own vehicles. So yeah, and to Adam's point, they've created probably the best product in the industry that we've worked with. And to his point, they are a strategic partner of Samsung. So I think it's a great offering and a great solution. And just it's finding the right bundle that fits the business needs of the customer, and RAM can work to make that happen.
Yeah, I mean, I know from speaking to our own agents when they've been talking with me about their end customers, you know, a nice, stable, secure mount is very important. I mean, speaking for myself, I remember the bad old days when we used to mount our smartphone using suckers on the windshield, or these funny little clamps that went on the vent louvers, you know,
Mhm.
and even if you had something that is sort of sat on the dash and was stuck to the window, it was still waving around all the time. You need something that's very, very substantial. I wondered, Michael, if you could talk a little bit more about specific use cases. I'm really talking about low hanging fruit. So for our agents that are interested in jumping in feet first on this upselling and cross selling, yeah, where would you start? What would you originally pitch in order to grab the customer's attention?
I think the key industry that Adam mentioned obviously is ELD, transportation. So
Hmm.
anybody who has a fleet of trucks, whether they're large semis going down the freeway, or maybe they're just a local fruit and vegetable delivery company, a wholesaler, because all of those type of industries have some sort of workflow. In the trucking space, it's all about ELD and federal
Yes.
mandates. But even for local delivery, it could be workforce automation, digital and wireless forms, taking their entire workflow and putting it on the tablet themselves so that the drivers can not only have it in the vehicle, but then pop it out of the vehicle and use it for signature and barcode scanning, etc. So that to me is really, probably two of the industries that have really gravitated towards electronic type devices. Field service as well. So again, whether it's those electrical contractors, HVAC contractors, again, anyone that's going in and out of a customer's house has work orders, documentation that they need to deal with. Most of those companies have all gone digital these days as well.
Yes.
And Verizon even had solutions, like Field Force Manager and others to help them go automated. Home healthcare,
Yes.
probably 5, 6 years ago, again, as an industry that had requirements around it in terms of proof of delivery at the home, we've seen a tremendous uptake of home healthcare nurses, aides, anyone that needs to provide some sort of medical treatment
Yes.
have all gone electronic and digital, as well as placing the devices, say, in a patient's home. So there's a lot of hospital systems and financial systems that then provide a device for those patients in the home. And then from there, it's really even just a lot of SMB users, that they want to get away from traditional laptops and expensive pieces of hardware to manage. And it's easy to use a tablet for, again, workflows, even video conference calls like this. You
Hmm. Hmm.
can run WebEx on a tablet. You can run, any of those solutions right on a tablet and be mobile in the field and never have to worry about communication. So I would say trucks and wheels probably are the lowest hanging fruit.
Yes.
But after that, then field service and maintenance organizations would be probably the next vertical I'd go after. And then after that's really just understanding, is the company trying to go digital and
Yeah.
paperless? This is a very low cost entry point device. There's great solutions like Adam showed that are also compatible with Tab A9, and we really can help them transform how they run their business into a digital workplace today.
Michael, when we were talking recently, you'd mentioned to me that really this 8-inch phablet, yeah, or small tablet, whatever we want to call it, is really backed by popular demand. And thinking back just over the last few minutes when we were talking about potentially traveling nurses or even smaller businesses with only 5 to 10 people, HVAC, electricians, plumbers, and so on, one of the hassles of carrying a big tablet is it gets in the way. Whereas when you're using a smartphone, the screen's just too small. So we're not just talking about electronic logging devices here. We're talking about the dual triple purpose, taking that device, that Samsung device, into the home or around about the home and using other applications as well. Would you like to talk about that? Being able to use the Samsung device for a multiplicity of tasks associated with that traveling professional person's work.
Yeah, you bring up a good point there, Neil. It's even in the phablet space or large smartphone size, that's great for a lot of traditional work. But trying to do true workforce automation, like maybe running Salesforce.com
Mm,
or work order management, the screens are great, but they're not quite big enough. And then we obviously at Samsung offer much larger tablets, but then you get out of that size that's comfortable to carry around in your hand, or if you're a clinician, be able to slip it into a pocket. So that
yes.
Tab A9 is that great intermediate device. And in some industries, for instance, like home healthcare, they may not issue those actual employees smartphones and want to pay for smartphones, but they will offer and supply a tablet because the only thing that they need those clinicians to do is update those medical records. So it also provides then a very low cost entry point for those companies to issue those type of devices to their workers. So um, again, whether it's WebEx or even I know we've had customers in the past that have deployed OneTalk on tablets.
Mm,
Since tablets themselves don't offer a calling plan or feature to use as voice calls directly, a great upsell opportunity for your agents is not only the tablet but OneTalk. And so that way you sort of get that triple, activation there of, the tablet itself, a one talk plan, and then any other value added features that they may be upselling the customer into. So just like we're on this today, that way a customer could issue out basically tablets to their remote field workers and stay in direct voice communication while they're out and about. So it's really those industries where they have people on the go, not in offices, people that are out and about, really are the best place to target this device, and then layer on a solution like a OneTalk or others, and then layer on productivity tools from RAM to help protect and make those solutions that much more business grade and enterprise grade.
So, Adam, I know that you are currently working with Verizon to have your RAM solutions included in iFill, but that's still not ready just yet. If our partners, our agents, would like to know more and actually start selling right now, what's the best way to go about it?
Yeah, so our model at RAM is we don't sell direct, we don't do activations, we'll never compete for business. So what we do is we work with the largest distribution partners in the nation to either stock our inventory or be able to source our inventory for Verizon and their customer. It really is impactful, though, when you tie me into the opportunity from the get-go. That way I can get the conversation started in case we need to figure out inventory, forecasting for the customer to make sure that we have the parts available in the time frame they're going to need it delivered by. A little bit of background of RAM too. We are a made-to-order manufacturer, and what I mean by that is we do not keep any fully assembled parts stocked in our warehouse. A purchase order comes in from a customer. we start the manufacturing process through our assembly line, and then it gets shipped out to distribution to be then delivered to the customer. So like you said, Neil, I'm working closely with the Verizon team to get these solutions that I showcased you today loaded on iFill. That way it is easily, readily available for all the Verizon sellers and their customers. But as of today, it would be going through some of the largest distributors across the nation.
Sounds good, Adam. Just ballpark figure, typical lead time on order placement to delivery.
Yep. So right now we are quoting a 5-week manufacturer lead time for any parts that are not in stock at distribution. Okay. What I mean by that is some of the solutions are readily available and in stock because our distributors work very closely with us to house our top selling solutions, such as the Tab A9 Plus bundle that you have here and the Xcover 7 Pro bundle that you see right here. So 5-week lead time is our standard lead time if the parts that we have decided to go with for the solution is not in stock at distribution at the time of order.
Fantastic, Adam. Thank you. Hey, Michael, you know I always like to put you on the spot with a difficult question. You mentioned earlier on, this is a rip-roaring year for Samsung. 7 months with lots and lots of solutions already delivered. What's coming up over the next few months?
Our Unpacked event was a couple of weeks ago. It was a great success out of Brooklyn, like always. So Flip 7 and Fold 7 were announced, as well as a refresh of our watch line, so Watch 8, as well as even a refresh of the Pro model. So probably those products, they're available for pre-order today. They go live later this month. And that's really probably the last refresh or say launch of any real products this year. So, we have a cadence in the spring of, our flagship S series devices.
Yes.
We have our Flip and Fold family devices in the summertime, like we're in now. But really what I think are the two, especially for business customers and SMB customers, are really what Adam was showcasing today. So, the Tab A9 and Xcover 7 Pro, we've been seeing significant victories with both products. And if you're not familiar with Xcover 7 Pro, it was a great enhancement from its predecessor, the Xcover 6 Pro. Feels very much like a flagship device. And that device, just like its predecessors, should be in the marketplace for 2 to 3 years. So, another thing that we do at Samsung is listen to the marketplace when it comes to specialty devices like our rugged products. We make sure that they have a long life cycle in the marketplace to allow customers to feel confident buying it not only today, but tomorrow, but years from now, and know that they can keep their fleet of devices very similar in nature.
Fantastic. Hey, Michael, while you are a captive audience to me and you can't jump off camera, would you come back next month and just go into a little bit more detail?
I would be happy to join you, Neil, anytime on a call like this. I definitely appreciate being able to join you.
Thank you so much. Michael Lane of Samsung and Adam Sahli from Ram Mount. I appreciate your time today.
Great, Neil. Appreciate being on today.
Thank you so much, Neil. Really appreciate it.
Fantastic. You take care. It's so good to hear that things are still onwards and upwards, both at Samsung and at Ram Mounts. Let's share screens again. You sent me over some photographs. Let's have a look at this one. The lady in the red dress. Who's this?
Well, that happens to be a past Miss Texas's daughter. So this young lady made history in Texas. She is she's the daughter of Arian Archer that was Miss Texas, 1994. But more importantly, or more special to the story, is that she was our Miss Amarillo area that competed at Miss Texas. So my mom and I were directors for 15 years, and we met Arian through her doing our pageant, and she won our prelim, went to Miss Texas, won, and went to Miss American, was in top 10. Then her daughter was interested in doing these, and this is the Miss America Scholarship, so people don't sometimes have a really negative look on them. This one is wonderful. This one is so much about community service, extremely intelligent, very talented. And so we got, this is Sadie Schermeyer, Miss Texas 2025 that you see here, and very shocked. And if you look at the girls behind her,
yes,
They were shocked and they were so happy. And they actually, at the end of the pageant, ran up to her and were jumping up and down saying her name, which I've never seen that done before. She'll be going to Miss America in September. Her mom, Arian, brought her up to Mom and I. And we met at the studio. There's pictures that are at the studio. Mom worked with her makeup. My mom, Patty, she was the one that was the executive director, and she worked with Arian the year before she went to Miss Texas. She was in 37th place and took Arian under her wing, and we won Miss Texas. Miss Texas is, as they say at Miss America, that Miss Texas is second hardest to winning Miss America.
Who is this? Who are these
That's
two?
my mom there. Sometimes when people look at the pictures, they're like, wait, is that you? Is that your mom? So that was when she first started as a teen to compete. And she actually was first runner up. And that's her mom behind her. That's Arian behind Sadie. There's Sadie and Arian, mom and daughter, and Patty and Shellie, mom and daughter.
I've got one of the posters. I believe you've got this framed poster.
I put that together to keep the legacy going. It was taken and shared all over Facebook. And I just never thought about letting people know who put that together. It was like, where did this come from?
Who's this beautiful woman on the left?
In the right? Oh,
no. The one in the blue.
That is myself and Arian.
Wow, you scrub up well. You scrub up well. Shellie Stapp. I'm sorry.
That's Sadie. That's Sadie's mom. Fantastic. And we're at the studio in the lobby area.
One more picture. Is this Sadie as well?
Yes, that is Sadie. That's a reflection. So that's my studio down below. It's just something memorable that I can keep. She had really improved in this routine, and I was so happy. There were some suggestions that I had for her since I have so many years of dance, and I have choreographed some things for Miss America. So that, I know it's hard to explain what that is, but it was just something more to just keep a memory. So that reflection is a mirror, so you're seeing the other side of the wall.
Yes.
In my studio. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Thank you. Thank you, Shellie, for sharing that with us. We're out of time for today. Let me just tell everybody what's happening next week. Next time, for those watching live, not for everyone on YouTube, we will have two of the bigwigs from Verizon. We'll have Jared Mullen on the left here, Jimmy Bozeman, and they are going to be reminding us all just why we picked Verizon in the first place. Why is Verizon the best network and the most supportive network in business for us all to work for as agents? So that's the same time next time. And you know something? We're going to be reviewing the 2021 book by Andy Weir. Andy Weir, I read one of his books a few years ago. You may have heard of it. It was called The Martian. Yeah? And it was made into a movie starring Matt Damon that became an absolute smash hit. Well, this is his 2021 book, Project Hail Mary. And believe it or not, Ryan Gosling is starring in a movie version of this that comes out next year. So we're going to spend just a couple of minutes reviewing Project Hail Mary.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah, telling you just why this book by Andy Weir is every bit as exciting as the original one, The Martian. Okay, that's next time. Any special plans for this coming weekend, Shellie?
Yes, getting ready for another production, another project to work on. So I had family in this last weekend for 3 days, and this weekend we'll be getting ready for another project. I always love those projects coming in, so I'm very excited. What about you?
I will be traveling again very soon back down to Fort Worth to Texas Motor Speedway. So I'll be meeting David and Kim Starr again in person. We've met, dozens upon dozens of times. But we're going to. They have an open night coming up very, very soon. A Saturday evening coming up very, very soon. And I think they've got somewhere in the region of, help me, 92 drivers, all members of the public for this one. It's a public drive. They're coming in to drive real NASCARs, retired NASCARs, at speeds of up to 150 miles per hour. And it's so thrilling. We are going to be interviewing people, and we're actually going to mount some cameras inside the NASCARs, just to let our audience know, just how, giving them a flavor of just how
Wow.
exciting it is to drive a NASCAR down there at Texas Motor Speedway. For now, everybody, thank you, Shellie. Thank you all for watching. I'll see you next time.
Bye-bye.